What is going on, everybody? I forgot to turn my background music down. Hang on a second. If you want to learn a little bit about how to run an RX 580, and tonight we're going to be looking at my favorite RX 580s on the Kapow TESTNET and TESTNET, yeah, Kapow Ravencoin is what I meant to say. You are in the right spot. You're in the right place because we're going to get after it right after this. I don't know if you can tell, but I am friggin' exhausted. I had to work in the yard, you know, cutting the grass and stuff today, so I'm a little bit out of it. But anyway, let's look at what we are going to be covering tonight. Before we get started, though, let's go ahead and take a real quick look at the market, see what's going on over here. I just like throwing up the heat map real quick from Coin360, and not much going on. Kind of boring as far as BTC and ETH. Saw some technical analysis folks today talk about how it's moving sideways, you know, and it's just, I don't know, just in this channel moving sideways as far as BTC goes. Just not much activity at all, which is sometimes a good thing. I don't mind it being, you know, not so volatile. So I like seeing some stability there. Doesn't bother me much. And then if you go over here to the watch list, we've got, this is basically a lot of the coins that I keep an eye on or try to. Got some good things going on over here for Raven. That's a good sign. I think that I'm probably going to do a little bit of a video probably tomorrow night for Crypto Fireball Friday, and we'll be covering Raven even more tomorrow, or again tomorrow. And I'll probably talk about what my thoughts are on how the fork to Kapow is going to affect the value. Not that everybody should be worried about value. We really shouldn't, but you know, in the long run, we kind of would like to see it go up. So some other ones that are doing well are Aeon. Red Panda Mining just got done testing some mining with 2080s, I think he was using. So that's cool. He talked about it. He actually mined Aeon on his stream just a few minutes ago. So they're up a little bit. Rio, let's see what Zell and Rio, you can't see them because they're so small. Let's go to CoinGecko and look up Rio. Rio has not been doing very well. That is for sure. So they're down below a penny now. They hung around 5 cents forever, and then they were at 2 cents forever, and then now they're below 1 cent. All right, let's look at Zell. Zell looked like it was not doing great today either, but we'll see what happens here. They're down below 3 cents. You know, at this point, it is what it is. Probably not going to see any of these pump hard at all until you see BTC start going up. So, yeah, we just kind of got to wait this out, I guess. So Ravencoin is switching to a new algorithm. It's called Kapow. It's a variant of ProgPow. And the cool thing about ProgPow is that, you know, the designers, Oh God a Girl, Oh God a Company, or If Deaf Else, whatever that team was, they actually made it to where you could configure parameters and kind of make ProgPow your own. And I think that that's super cool. And that is what Ravencoin devs are doing. So it's going to be their own version of ProgPow, and they're calling it Kapow. And different people say it different ways. I say Kapow because Ka is like the Raven coin, or the Raven call sign, right? It would be cool if it was Kapow, like just K-A-P-O-W. That might be cool too, but that doesn't really fit with the Ravencoin community very well. So Kapow it is for me. I'll keep saying it like that until someone corrects me. So, all right. And if you want to get started on the testnet, it's still a little bit tricky because we're in that stage where you can't just go to their website and grab the wallet and run it on testnet, because you have to go to the nightly builds, like the ones that they're the wallets that they're actually working on, the devs are actually working on. At least I think that's the way it still is. I could be wrong. I think that you still have to get the wallet from the nightly builds, which I will go there right now. I'll show you where that's at. Let me go ahead and paste this into the chat so you guys have it. And the next thing you would do is go to dev builds, and this is where I made my first mistake. I had all kinds of problems the first time I tried to do this. You go to your platform, so I'm going to go to Windows, and you want to get the latest development version, right? Don't worry about the fast hash or PR767 or any of this other stuff, even though they're up to date as well, some of them anyway. You want to get the correct development version. So in my case, I would have gotten this one right here. I already have it. So this is the one that we downloaded recently. On a previous stream, I've been doing Kapow all week. So just check out those videos. There's at least one or two of them that I talk about downloading this and getting running up on testnet. But basically, you would download this, extract it to whatever location you want, launch it like you would launch any other normal wallet, the first time anyway. Let it sync would probably be a good thing. And then you would create a shortcut. And I talk about this in a previous stream. You create a shortcut to the Ravencoin raven-qt.exe, and then you modify the shortcut so that it has the testnet parameter in the configuration or in the properties of the shortcut. So if you go, I'll just show you an example here. So here's my shortcut to the development testnet. So if I go to properties of that, you can see that I have modified it to have testnet after the executable, right? So this is all you have to do. This is just my normal location. Actually, this is a test location for Ravencoin wallets. Just go there, launch it there, then or add testnet, add dash testnet. Then you would go and launch that shortcut, and you'll see it will look a little different. It'll be green, and it'll look like this. It'll have testnet up here. Yeah, this is I probably launched the wrong one, so just ignore that. But you'll have testnet up here. The logo will be green, and you'll kind of have a pretty good feeling that you're on testnet at that point. So anyway, all right. Let's see here. That was the old version. I need to get rid of that one, but anyway, so that is how that works, and that's how you would get a correct address to test mine to. You can't use like an address from mainnet, and I don't think you can use a testnet address from any previous testnets, right? So you have to get the one that's on that version, that latest version, in order to properly test Kapow, from what I understand. So just keep all that in mind as you're moving forward with your testing. All right, so that is just a real quick overview of how that works. Let's see what's next. So if we go to Medium and we look at Tron Black's post, I did talk about this in a previous stream, but he's got some updates down here for 4.6. I don't think, yeah, that's the last update. You know, talking about this particular update or Kapow, and the dates. You know, it says mid-April. The binaries, the execute, you know, the wallet and everything will be available. Should be available by mid-April, and the algo switch date is May 6th. I still don't know if it's a time or a block height. I'm sure it's going to be a block height. But I don't think that information has been disseminated as of yet. I could be wrong. I haven't probed their Discord today. I was in there briefly today, but I didn't look for you know, how the hard fork is going to happen. There's a huge risk here because I do believe that you're going to have a chain split, but it is what it is. We have to get the ASICs and the FPGAs off of network, so we have to do what we got to do. Yeah, there's a huge risk with a split like this, or a fork like this. All right, so on to the meat of the stream. I wanted to work with the hardware that we're using tonight, which is my favorite, by far my favorite GPU as far as the RX 580s goes, is the RX 580 ARMOR MK2 from MSI, the 8 gig version. You got 570s and 580s. I've got them both, and yeah, I just love this GPU. It is so freaking awesome. You'll see. I mean, I was pretty impressed with the performance of this on Kapow. Efficiency is crazy good. I mean, it's like a 1660 Super, actually, comparable as far as hash per watt goes. And I've already done a lot of the testing prior to tonight. I do have the rig up and running right now on SimpleMining OS. It's the only rig that's down here running right now. Scarif rig, and it's only got 2 GPUs in it. It looks like it's not running because it's showing 0 hash there, but that's probably just something that they need to fix between the miner and the interface for SimpleMining. All this is kind of new. This is a brand new version of MBMiner. It's 29.1. It's only a few hours old, less than a day old. They had to make some changes. I guess the RDNA architecture wasn't getting very good hash rates, like way down to like 3 mega hash on Kapow, so they made some adjustments. And I talked about this on the last night's stream. I was talking about, like, you know, you're gonna see right now there's like a rush to get really efficient Kapow miners out there, right? And the people that are the miners that have supported Raven in the past are probably going to want to continue to support Raven. So you're going to see all these little tweaks and fixes and patches and all this stuff to make things a little bit more efficient. And that's what they did in this case. MBMiner updated from version 29 to version 29.1, probably a very small change that helped drastically the RDNA architecture in SerpentX. Special Forces just did a video on this. He did a premiere at 9 o'clock, so definitely check out that video because it goes through the whole. I think he was using, I don't know if he's in here, maybe he can talk about it. I wasn't able to watch it 100% because I was getting ready for this, and I don't know if he's in here. I don't see him in here anywhere, but let's see here. Yeah, he might not. Oh, it says he's in here. Okay, so yeah, Serpent, if you're in here, talk about what your stream was about or not stream, but your premiere was about. Let everybody know to check that out. And let's see here. I can't get too distracted by the chat, but thanks everybody for tuning in. Dan the Dane, Shuby, Hash Raptor, what's up, man? I'll get to you in a few minutes. I gotta send you your asset. So let me just talk about. Let me see if you replied to me here. I know we were talking before the stream here. I need a good Raven address from you, HashRaptor, so that I can send you your HashRaptor asset on the Ravencoin network. Because I registered it. It's not really called registering. That's kind of the wrong word there. But I created this asset for HashRaptor because I noticed I think we were talking about Raven a couple weeks ago or a month ago. And I did a search for HashRaptor's asset on, this is regular mainnet. This is actual Ravencoin network here, not testnet. And I saw that it wasn't created yet. So I was like, oh man, I better do it because he was talking about it. And I was like, I got to do it because if I don't, someone else is, and then he won't have the actual HashRaptor asset. So I grabbed it for him, and we agreed that I would just send it to him, you know, in a stream just to make it something fun. So we'll probably tackle that tonight. I don't have an address for him though. I need that. Hash Raptor there, if you're still watching. All right, let's see. So we'll get to that in a minute. But back to RX 580s, these MSI ARMOR Mark IIs, badass GPUs. I just love them, love them, love them. If you look at the overclock settings that I have, you'll see that it is kind of odd. It's got an odd number in here. Normally, you know, it's like an even number or whatever. I don't mean odd like because it ends in 7. I mean odd like it's an unusual number. So 1167 on the core and 2200 on the memory seems to be a pretty solid setting that gets pretty mad efficient. And I'll show you the efficiency in just a minute. You can kind of tell, I mean, look at the RX 570 is all the way down to 68 watts right here. The 580 is at 88. I tend to believe that I could probably get that down a little bit more. I do have the same exact overclock settings on both. I probably could push the RX 580 maybe a little bit more, but it's looking like this is really efficient, to be honest. And that is 875 on the millivolts on the undervolt. And you can see down here what I'm currently getting is 9 megahash on the 570 and 10.2 on the 580. But that's not the most important part. It doesn't sound like too astonishing or anything. It's not like crazy high megahash, but the efficiency is pretty solid. So if you go to the efficiency, and you can see that I did document at one time, if I let it run, and this is what I was trying to explain to Red Panda on his stream just a little while ago, is that I've noticed that there's a lot of variance here. So like it'll be mining and it will actually go up and down quite a bit, like 10% one way or the other. Maybe even, well, let's see, if it goes from 9 to 11, then that's actually more like about 20%. So it has a variance of like 20%, because you can see right here, right now it's at 10.17 on the RX 580, but you can see that earlier today I was getting 11.68. That's what I saw the highest megahash per second. And that comes out to, if you go with the measured power draw of the miner, or of SimpleMining, which is a little inaccurate because you have to take it at the wall and divide it out by the GPUs and stuff. And if I do that, let me do that real quick so I can show you the actual power draw of the whole system per GPU. So let me pull up my app here so I can get to the power situation. Let's see here. We're at 10 minutes. Is Brandon Coin going live tonight? I haven't seen an update or a notification from him. Oh, you're all still talking about thanks, Hash Raptor. I'll get that. Red Panda, you still talking about the Veta frame challenge? I'm actually trying to do up the rules and stuff right now. You guys are gonna hate me for the rules, but we'll have to all kind of decide on what the rules should be. But you're right on. It's got you. There's no way that we will be able to use, you know, power tools or anything like that. That just totally wouldn't be fair. All right, cool. So Brandon Coin's going live, so I got to get going here. All right, on the Scarif rig. So right now it is getting. Let's see if you can see this. It's getting. I don't know if this is going to focus. Let me set autofocus real quick. I have autofocus turned off because it handles things much better if I do that. Turn it back on for a second. So you can see, hopefully, maybe. Come on, camera. All right, no autofocus. Let me turn down the exposure and then I will focus it myself. What is going on here? Is it the exposure maybe? Yeah, there we go. Okay. And then the focus. All right, so you can see right there, it's 360 basically at the wall. All right. So 360, how would you do that? Just divided by 2, I guess. So it's about, you know, I can't do math whenever I'm live streaming. Give me a second. All right, 180, yeah, I should have known that. All right, so about 180 watts per GPU total for the whole system, right? Because you got to add about 250 or whatever for the motherboard, memory, and processor and all that. So, and this is a H110 Pro BTC Plus motherboard. So it's not that, it's quite power hungry in my opinion. It uses a lot of power, but hey, what's up, Sarth? All right, so let me get back to this. A little bit off track here. All right, let's go and check out what it's doing now. You can see it has changed a little bit. It's dropping, and then now it's kind of like bouncing back up. It looks like it went from 8.8 to 8.9. Well, actually, this was 10, and then that went to 9.98. But I just see a huge variation here. I don't know if it's maybe power too low. I don't know. Not exactly sure here. And the reason that I have the memory at 2200 on these GPUs is because they are no longer BIOS modded. If they were BIOS modded using the one-click BIOS mod timing patch, then I would have the memory should be set to like 1750 to compensate. You know, this is a different algorithm, so it's not like your normal ETH-hash. It's ProgPow, or a variant of ProgPow. So you have to set it to compensate for that. So if you have BIOS modded GPUs, RX 580s, RX 570s, with that one-click timing patch, BIOS mod, then your memory needs to be set at like 1750. So that's why you probably saw that from last night's stream, because I was using BIOS modded GPUs last night. So that is 1750. If it's not BIOS modded, you can hit it with the 2200. All right, so I think I've covered pretty much what I wanted to cover as far as the GPUs go, or the testnet mining. I'm gonna leave this open, and we'll come back to this in a moment. But right now, I need to send HashRaptor his asset. So let's do that. And if you want to learn about Ravencoin assets, and it's like the primary focus of the whole project was assets and the creation and management of assets and transfer from one user to another, that's what we're about to do. I created the HashRaptor asset like I described earlier because I saw that it wasn't created yet and he was talking about it, so I grabbed it. Not in a mean way or anything. I was doing it to protect him. I was actually I did the same thing for Bitsby Trippin', but he actually got it within a few hours of assets being enabled on the network. That was like 2 years ago. But I did almost register Bitsby Trippin'. But I was like, you know what? I know he's going to get it before anybody else does. It was actually kind of risky. I probably should have grabbed it for him and sent it to him because someone else could have easily grabbed it. But anyway, so that's just the way assets work. So I do have this from him, so I need to send it to him. So let's do it. So this is whenever you see the A next to it, that is the admin asset, the administrative assets, the primary, top level asset, the controlling asset. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to send asset. Select an asset to transfer. I thought I already did, but that's okay. We'll choose it again. So I'm going to go with HashRaptor. The address is, he sent it to me in in the chat over there. Let me verify it here real quick. Looks pretty good. You can give it a label if you want. I'm just going to throw that on there like that. There's just, oh, you know what? Here's what I need to do. I'm kind of messing up. Really, all I need to do is transfer him the administrator asset because I don't have any. I mean, there's one HashRaptor token in here. It is reissuable, so he'll be able to reissue it and create as many tokens as he wants, right? That's typically the best practice when creating an asset that you don't know what you're going to do with, is you would create it and leave it as reissuable during the creation process. So I'm going to choose to transfer the administrator asset because that's what I want to do. Yeah, and see, I only have the two. And administrator assets actually have the exclamation point at the end, so they're a little different. So I'm going to transfer that to him. Everything is the same. Looks good. See how it put the, and that's what alerted me to the problem, because I was like, wait a minute, I can't choose an amount because it's the admin asset, and I forgot to check that box right there. So now that that's checked, we should be good to go. One, and then I'm going to click send. And hopefully I remember this. I mean, right? Okay, so I don't remember it. Hang on a second. There we go. All right, so are you sure you want to send? Yes. There's a little bit of a transaction fee. And again, this is mainnet. This is not testnet. This is actually happening on the mainnet. So there we go, assets sent. Let's see right there. You can see right here where I created it. And it costs 500 real Raven to create that asset. And right now, if you are looking at creating assets on the Ravencoin network, now would be a really good time because it is not even 2 cents. You know, whenever it was down to 1 penny, everybody and their brother should have been creating assets, because the USD value of those assets was so low. You know, whenever I created my SavageMine asset, I think technically it costed $35 US to create that main asset, US dollars. I think when I did HashRaptors, it was probably about 2 cents, I believe. So it was a lot cheaper. That would come out to like $10, I think, right? So it might have been a little bit more than that. So yeah, right now is definitely the time to create some assets if you were thinking about doing that. So yeah, super cheap. Let's see what the rig is doing over here. I call it a rig, but there's only 2 GPUs in it right now. Yeah, still only at about 8.8 and 10. Might be the heat. They don't look that hot. They're not running hot. But again, I see a lot of variance in it. So it will probably at some point go up to 11.6 like I saw earlier today. I don't know, but look at that efficiency on these two. It's the 580 and the 570 right here, these two. So this one and this one. I got on the 570, this thing is so sick. It was at 10.4 at 70 watts. This is better efficiency than the 1660 Super. You can see up here. Almost 150 hash per watt. Kilohash per watt, sorry. That's crazy. That is crazy efficient. So like a rig of RX 570s, ARMOR MK2s would probably be pretty good on Kapow from what I'm seeing. This is not mining advice or anything, but that would be a solid rig. And you could do that really inexpensive right now. An RX 570 ARMOR Mark II, like used, I don't know, maybe 70 bucks, 80 bucks if they're in great condition. I mean, you could get a rig, build a rig for way less than $1,000 for like a 6 GPU rig. That's sick. That is sick. Crazy efficient. I was really impressed with that. So you can probably tell. All right, let me check the chat. I know we got to get over to, yes, Serpent. All of my rigs are named after Star Wars planets. Dagobah, Kessel, Scarif, and Mustafar. Anyway, I know that's like total nerd stuff. I'm a Star Wars fan, but I'm not like one of those weird nerds. You know, it's just kind of like I grew up watching the movies, so you know, I like the movies. That's about as far as it goes. I know a little bit of trivia, but I wouldn't be able to beat like a nerd, a real Star Wars crazy nerd fan. I would not be able to beat them at trivia, but I do know some of the little stuff, you know, behind the scenes or whatever. So right on, Hash Raptor. So you should have that pretty soon. It should be all confirmed and all that stuff. Yep. Let's see here. I don't know if I missed any tags in here. I'm just kind of looking through here, making sure I didn't miss any questions or anything. Let me know if you have any questions. I know we got to get over to Ravencoin, and we have to do a Savage raid. I know y'all did a Red Panda mining raid on me, so that was cool. All right, so let's see here. I know I'm a nerd, freaks in, but I'm not a crazy like Star Wars crazy nerd or anything. All right, awesome, Hash Raptor. So you've got the Hash Raptor asset, and you will have that forever, brother, as long as you don't accidentally like delete the asset or send it to a burn address or transfer it to somebody accidentally or something. So don't do any of that. So yeah, let's get over to Brandon Coin and let's do a Savage raid. How to mine crypto on a PC. All right, right on.
Log in.
I'm gonna paste the link in the chat here so you can head over there and make sure you do a Savage raid. Let him know you came from over here, and you could do actually a Red Panda Savage raid so that he knows that you came from both. And even actually this could be like a Savage Red Panda Serpent X raid, because like Serpent X did a premiere at 9 o'clock. So yeah, cool stuff. Head over there and check him out. I will see you guys tomorrow night for Crypto Fireball Friday. Stay savage, everybody.